Visit sportsbookreview.com to learn more about BetOnline and its A-plus rated platform on the link below. Thursday, January 25th, 2018. Welcome to SportsBit. Betting insight today from SBRpicks.com. Let's get right into it. We have three big game breakdowns for tonight, including NBA on TNT and a couple of watch and wins in college hoops. But as we like to do for just about every show, we're going to open with bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. What's the lead story from last night? Clear, very clear. 6 NBA favorites, won and covered out of 9 games. Relatively normal NBA night, right? Why is that the lead story? Sixers, Pacers, Raptors, Rockets, Spurs, and Blazers all get the money as chalk. Why is that the lead story? Because Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, NBA dogs went 17-0-1 against the spread. An epic run from the dogs. 3 days, no chalk cover. The closest was Denver. They won by only 3 against the Blazers on Monday. That was the push. Everything else was dogs. So last night, with the 6 favorites covering in the NBA, that's got to be our lead story after an epic 17-0-1 ATS run from the little guys. All the bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. What do we got? Celtics, Clippers. We got to talk about this game. The total opened 214, got bet up to 218, then got bet right back down, closed 214.5. Where's it land? 215. And there was weird news all day. There was Boston, there was Clipper money pouring in. Of course, the Celtics ended up winning that contest, but no Horford for Boston. The return of DeAndre Jordan, it was like the money was going up, the money was coming down, and it was a really bad landing spot for the books on this total. Didn't have to be. The game was sitting on 213 with a minute 53 left. Only 2 points the rest of the way. Celtics, Clippers went up, went down. If you're just looking at opening and closing numbers, you wouldn't even notice this move. The books noticed it. They took a bath on that one last night. Tough beat. Yeah, this is a bad beat. It's not a tough beat. This is a bad one. Illinois, minus 2.5 against Indiana. They're up 73-65 with 50 seconds left. Should be no problem. Make a couple of free throws, you're fine. Well, the Illini go 0-4 from the line. A pair of turnovers. Indiana scores the last 6 points to get through the back door. Final score, 73-71. Illini minus 2.5. That's no good. First Big Ten win for Brad Underwood, who is doing his best to win worst coach of the year, or worst dressed coach of the year. He hasn't done a great job in terms of getting wins for the Illini, but yeah, that's a Craig Sager jacket. You're not allowed to wear that if you're a college basketball head coach. Bad bets last night. Certainly Rutgers. Rutgers took a bunch of money. They were betting against the spot for Nebraska. 2 road games in 3 days. And, of course, Rutgers has played well at the rack this season. Not last night. Was a brick fest. Rutgers takes a 3.5-point line move. They lose the game outright. Huskers win 60-54 in a game that was not pretty to watch. Bad for the books. I had a handful of these last night. Certainly the Bulls Celtics under 219.5 down to 217. It fell 216. It was a sweat and a half. That game was sitting at 208 with 3 minutes to play and completely dies. So Bulls Sixers under cashes. That wasn't good for the house. DePaul took a bunch of money against Georgetown. +5 down to +3 in that contest. The Blue Demons with the straight up win. Patrick Ewing learning how much of a rebuild it's going to have to be. The Hoyas program has fallen far, far down, and they have 0 end game polish. One more to talk about. Wyoming +5.5 down to +3 against the Nevada Wolfpack. If the money was based on Cody Martin being out for Nevada, it was wrong. Cody Martin played. He played 46 minutes and scored 27 points. But Wyoming with the 104-103 double OT victory, one of the best games of the season. Cowboys take the money. Cowboys get the money. Not a good result for the books. We got to talk about what happened in New York yesterday. This is a big deal. This isn't a little deal. The state Senate for New York, the Racing, Gaming, and Wagering Committee, they had a public hearing on the issue of sports betting. And the NBA came to testify. And here's the NBA's written testimony. Quote, can you even imagine this? 5 years ago when the NBA was leading the lawsuit against sports betting in New Jersey, quote, We support the passage of a comprehensive sports betting bill that would serve as a model for a 50-state solution, whether that happens in Congress or on a state-by-state basis. That's a formal request for a set of laws that could be the basis for professional sports leagues getting into national legalized wagering. It's huge. So then they had the attorney, Dan Spillane. He testified in front of the committee, quote, "The NBA's position on sports betting has evolved in recent years. Our conclusion is that the time has come for a different approach that gives sports fans a safe and legal way to wager on sporting events while protecting the integrity of the underlying competitions." So this is not an evolving change. This is a 360 flip from the NBA, from a 180-degree flip from where they were. But there's an issue. The NBA is trying to get a cut. They requested in the bill in Indiana and in the bill in New York, 1% of every bet made on their games. Called what was it? I forget the name of the fee that they're calling it. The protection fee. Integrity protection fee is what they called it. Thank you. 1% of every bet. Obviously, when you're talking about taking off 1% off the top, off the handle, this isn't the hold, this is the handle for the sports books. Sports books don't make that much money. People think, oh, that's how they build the casinos. No, they build the casinos off slot machines and table games and entertainment and restaurants and all of that. The reason they have sports books in casinos is make a little bit of money and not to lose their customers going somewhere else to have a sports book. That's why they have them. So we're talking about $5 billion in revenue in Nevada for 2017. Potentially, as the numbers come out, it was what, $4.2 billion last year, but the numbers continue to rise. NBA wants a cut, and that's going to be a sticking point when it comes to minus 110 on both sides. If the states give the NBA a cut and the leagues get their 1% or 0.5% or whatever they're asking for, I'm telling you, 11 to 10 is gone. And every sports book, every offshore, our friends at BetOnline continue to get all the new customers because people don't want to lay minus 115. They don't want to lay minus 120. You can't beat that. Hard enough to beat minus 110. NBA, I understand the lobbying efforts. We have to unite to make sure this doesn't go through in an era where we really want sports betting to get legalized. So there you have it. All right, big game breakdown coming up next right here on SportsBet. Don't touch that dial. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the games.